All right, we had a fucking stream crash. Check, check, check. All right, it's working. All right, so somebody asked me about psychedelic therapy. Will you try psychedelic therapy in the future? It's not legal where I live. I'm not opposed to it. I'd be interested to try it at some point, but as far as doing it with the prop traders, I don't. Unless I have a desk where we're physically in the same place and it's legal, sure. I think there's other methods and things we can do. And then somebody else said, I'm really enjoying this live stream. Most people can't have or don't want to discuss these heady topics, especially as it relates to trading and the emotions it reveals in a person. Nice approach with the team. So, yep, for sure. So that, I don't know, man. When it comes to like doing this shit, everybody I've ever like personally talked to, it seems like it's the same problems. It is emotional. And nobody really has anybody to talk to about it. I think I'm going to explain to you why I think trading is so fucking difficult. Okay? Like, I think people aren't getting educated, which I know sounds absolutely fucking insane. Like, there's so much content and books and shit, right? Here's a problem. It's like taking a fucking jigsaw puzzle, right? A 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, right? And it's got dogs on it. And then you dump the box, but you don't have the pictures of the dogs to put the jigsaw together, right? So now you got to just kind of fucking look at the pictures and try to put the pieces together. That's what trading education is like. Because there's no real A to Z. It doesn't exist. I don't think it could exist. But here's the problem. Now there's a fucking 10,000 piece jigsaw of cats. And then you dump that puzzle into the fucking pile with the dogs. And you don't have the picture of that one. So now you got to pick through the pieces. Which one's the cat puzzle? And I don't even know it's a cat puzzle because I don't really know what the picture's supposed to look like. And which one's a dog puzzle? Trading information is conflicting. So are you going the dog route or the cat route? But you don't even fucking know what the picture is, right? Then you have a fucking 10,000 piece puzzle with fucking parrots on it, right? That's dumped in. Well, that right there is information that's outdated because market regimes fucking change. Okay? There's just certain, like, it changes. I've been doing this for 8.5 years, and it is not like it was when I first started. When I was new, I'm like, oh, yeah, markets change, patterns change. Whatever. That shit's real, man. What's interesting is I do have a setup that hasn't been around for like 2 years that just came out of nowhere again, the triple stack, and it's fucking working. Anybody who's been around for a while knows what the triple stack is. It's like they do a range on a range on a range, and it tends to like whip through it. It's working again. It went away for years, and now it's fucking back. May I enter your dojo? Yeah, sure. We're doing a live stream. But, so now you have conflicting information, which is the dog versus the cat puzzle. Well, would you, use technical indicators or you not? Because half the people say you shouldn't, half the people say you do. Some people say order flow doesn't work. Some people say it does. But some people are making order flow work while others are able to do it. So what do you fucking do? So it's just too much fucking information. Then the content from when I first started trading till now is just totally fucked. It's more influencers who just talk nonsense about bullshit. I'm not here to talk shit about them, but it's become more of an influencer space. That's going to happen in every industry. Welcome to the internet. the future of the internet kind of fucking sucks because you got a lot of bots in the comments section. AI makes up fucking slop and hallucinates, and then other AI sees that, and then it's just a fucking sloppy fucking shit. You got other countries with troll farms who are just stirring up shit on the internet. You got AI YouTube videos, and shit ain't even real. You know how many fucking videos I've seen of like, hey, this new car's coming out. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm like, wait a minute. So the internet, just in general, for any type of device, is just getting fucking filled up with shit. Dead internet theory, my friends. Yeah, when I first started, it was more technical, but just again, I'll explain why trading is so hard. So you have conflicting shit that doesn't work. Then you have another puzzle with like fucking penguins on it. Throw that in there. You can't see the picture. That's all the bullshit. So now you got to pick through it. Well, you know how long it's going to fucking take you to like find the pieces and put it together and go, wait a second, I think I have something here. I think a lot of traders who get into this, there's too much shit, too much conflicting shit, too much bullshit, too much outdated shit. And then people like me, everybody gets lumped in the same, it's the fucking gurus. I'm going to tell you this. I've been on day trading Reddit a lot. Those people aren't influencers, and they give shitty fucking advice. That's very amateur, shitty advice. Hey, I've been consistently profitable for weeks. Should I use 40 grand and go live? Yeah, do it. Okay. Yeah, let us know how that works. So it's just this, like, how is this really fucking done? And I think the only people that I ever really found was S&B Capital. Like, the moment I stumbled on their content, I'm like, wait a second. I was already recording and reviewing my shit. Because when I first got into this, I went through John Grady's webinars. Watching another trader trade live, even if he struggled, it was good to see. Okay? Just like Yuki. He doesn't have any coaching experience in this, but he's doing it. And then he said, record and review your trades. I kept doing it. My DOM is the same fucking color template as his all these years later. And then I saw the S&B Capital shit with Mike Bellafury talking about reviewing and how it is like athletics. And that changed. That changed everything. And then Dr. Brent Steenbarger and the psychology of it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm picking up these pieces. I'm like, wait a second. But again, there's too much fucking information. You could spend years trying to piece it all together. Because nobody tells you how to do it from start to finish. But not to mention, again, you're your own accountability partner. You're your own coach, your own mentor, your own psychologist, your own hypnotherapist, your own risk manager. You're doing it for yourself. And Dr. Brent Steenbarger said, if you want to be a gold medal Olympian, you got to have a team. And I know Chronic would have blown up his account. He's told me if he didn't have the support. And we're forcing him to not blow it up. And another interesting thing that traders do is, again, I know somebody on a reputable prop desk. I asked him, have you seen traders get fired? And he says, yes. And I go, what happens? And he says, they get into trouble, right? And they almost want to be put out of their own misery. So it's like that meme where the guy sticks the stick in the front wheel of his bicycle and falls over, but it's his own fault. I see that a lot with you guys that are trading combines and shit. You can't handle it when it's drawdown, and plus they kind of incentivize that behavior. They're like, well, you get a free reset. And it's like, well, instead of digging out of a $4,000 hole, I can just fucking start over. That doesn't help. You guys just say fuck it and blow it up, and then now you're training yourself to do that. This is why we're doing this team shit. I think that if traders had, I think there's a lot of talented guys out there that never, ever get their shot. I think there's traders that can do this and pull it off if they just had the right support. But that never happens, and then they just blow out. Because you have to do so much for yourself. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's check back in a year, and maybe these guys are making money. Maybe they're not. I think they will. I'm pretty confident I can pull it off. They're improving. That's all I need to see. So, too much fucking information. Is it outdated? Is it conflicting? Is it bullshit? I tell you something that somebody else tells you otherwise. So you spend years trying to fucking piece together how to fucking do it. The market regimes change. And then, then you got to hold yourself accountable. I mean, you got to change as a person to do this. And I think at the very least, you guys finding other traders to trade with and holding each other accountable, like during a session, is important. Like, hey, where you guys can see each other's P&Ls so you can pull each other out. Because there's something that's so magnetic where you just get sucked in. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking, what is it? The Odyssey with Homer or whatever. And there was all those like naked mermaids on the rocks singing. And he wanted to look at them. Because everybody that looks at them drives their ship right into the fucking rocks. They all die. Right? That's what the markets can be like. Where it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. And that's what I fucking hate about Reddit and just like general trading advice. Oh, just be disciplined. Yeah. It's not that easy. It wasn't easy for me, and it ain't easy for these guys. So, it's like you're getting tied to the mast, and you got somebody slapping you saying, hey, you're done trading. At the very least, it's funny. And that's the thing. I think the markets understand human psychology, and I think they are predatory based off of that in a lot of ways. I think there used to be a time where the moves were a bit cleaner. Now they seem to fuck both sides. And all that's really there is scalps. So let me see what you guys are saying. Making all their money on prop firm affiliates and forging balances and sim accounts. Merit Lance or pure gold. I saw the other day on day trading a comment of yours and how lots of people were trying to teach you how the DOM works. Was it me? I don't know. Well, what's interesting is we had a order flow experiment where I took the tape and I broke it down per contract. Every 10 lot, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way up to like 30s. And what's interesting is these market orders, because if somebody's trading a 13 lot or a weird number that's not psych, it's probably the same guy. And what's interesting is how aggressive these market orders are coming in. You'll see these 13 lot, 11 lot, 10 lot trades come in, and it's almost like they're taking one tick losses. I sort of fuck their wash trading with themselves, but it's very weird behavior. Okay? I don't want to go down that hole, but Flash Boys talks about how order flow is an illusion and shit. It's just there's something about it that seems off. I think it's useful. I think it has its place, but to be like, oh, there's a large trader here, I'm going to fade him. He might just disappear, dude. So, let's see what else. Have you seen Rain trading? I actually know Ryan, which is Merritt's ex-partner. Ryan treated me really good when he worked at Apteros. I wished him the best of luck on his thing, and if it wasn't for the futures desk, I would probably see if they would be my money partner. Literally the hardest part of trading, be disciplined. Yeah. It is, man. But also, I think you're more likely to do something for somebody else. And what's interesting is if you're competitive, getting these guys together, because the coder today for the tradecraft software, he was telling me, he's like, man, I'm having a bad week. Everybody's making money but me. But he's fallen out of routine. He's not he's not actually reviewing or meditating anymore, and he's been a degenerate, drinking and smoking and shit. So what's interesting though is like I'm trying to cultivate a culture to where all these guys are working each other, and it's like, well, fuck, he's doing it, I'm gonna do it. Oh, he's making all this money and he's working on his clarity or his emotions. Well, I want to do it too. So I think having that will be helpful. It'll be interesting to see how that happens, because we'll see. It's a race between Miller and Chronic to see who gets funded first. You know? And then I know they're listening. Miller's at least listening to this. And then what I do is I fuck with them a little bit. I go, oh, Miller's making a little more than you. He seems to be doing better. So, you know, kind of get them in their heads to push them and shit. You know what I mean? So that's sort of what's going on. We're actually talking about you, Miller. So what's interesting, he's here now, but what's interesting about Miller is I thought he was the one guy who had his emotions under control. And again, that's his P&L curve up here right now for the combine. And I'll be showing this shit to you guys weekly, so there's added pressure. So what's interesting about Miller is he's under a lot of pressure. This account matters. All of his other trading has been really good. He's been trading since November. We could probably take a look. Let's look at all of his accounts. Yeah. You know, on one lots, since November, 17 grand. I know it's all paper trading and shit, but if you can't paper trade a fucking sim account, you're going to have a hard time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is when you try to trade your live account. Had problems in here. So it's like he's obviously knows what he's doing. And then what's interesting is when I brought him into it, he started kind of like having like a panic attack about the whole fucking thing. It's like, we're setting up the account. I'm like, well, you're going to have to probably trade micros because he's balling on a budget, right? I'm like, well, let's get you into the cheapest one. It's going to take him 12 days to make a bunch of fucking money. He needs a certain amount of risk. He needs 5 tries. And you know, he's used to trading one mini. So psychologically, that fucks with him to go to a micro, right? A couple of micros. So I saw that it was messing with him and shit. So he's like, well, what if we do one mini? And I'm like, well, it's going to cost you more. And he's like, all right, I can do it. So we boosted his, because you can, at the futures desk, you can like use these slider scales that say, hey, I need this much risk. I want this much size. I want to trade for this many days, and it changes everything and the price. So he's doing it, and then Yuki and I start coaching him, and you can tell it's a lot of pressure on him. I can tell that like it's too much. Because he's used to trading sort of by himself. He can listen to me trade, but as far as like putting him on the spot and having him tag during the session, he's not comfortable with it. It almost seems like he needs everything in the right place. I need my cup here. You know, I need to put this here. This needs to be here. Everything needs to be in the right. The keyboard needs to be just like that. Hey, man. Same thing with baseball pitchers. You know, they touch the hat 2 times, spit on their hand, roll it around 3 times, and then they pitch it. It's that little ritual thing he's got going on to like get locked in and trade. So he's obviously going to get a lot of pressure, and we got to push him to get better. So I can tell he's starting to freak out about a lot of this shit, and he's getting in his head. I shoot a hypnosis track for him that he listens to at night, addressing the issues, which was interesting. I associated it with like eating food, and that's what this is. It's one bite at a time, okay? And then again today, he's used to picking up like 12 ticks on average. He stops the session. He's done. Okay, going beyond that is uncomfortable. Because you guys all have these weird little fucking ticks. That's what I notice. Like, you can't take the first trade of the day can't be a loss. Otherwise, you blow up. If it's the third trade, you're okay. Or you can't take 4 break-evens in a row. The 5th one will kill you. You guys all have these weird little fucking particular cat-like things that you guys do. It's like, you can pet me anywhere, but the moment you touch my foot, I can't handle that shit, right? That's what you guys have. And that's what causes a lot of these fucking problems. So, somebody says true. That is exactly what the fuck is going on. That is exactly what the fuck is going on with you guys. Let's see. I had no idea. We don't know his MO yet. He's balling on a budget, but it's like I gotta work through this shit, like through like meditations and shit. So he's starting to freak out. I can hear him panicking today in the session, and he's like, I have all my trades in today. I don't think I can trade anymore. So I do this hypnosis with him, and I think this is. Let me look at it. Let's take a look at it just today. Right. Let's see where it was. It's the end of the fucking month. I don't remember when we did it. Let's check out the time. Let's look at it from time. There should be a big gap. Somewhere in here. I don't know if... Miller, did we take one more trade after the meditation? Or was there or did you do 2? Just one? Because we did a... No, remember we... It was 1? I think it was this good one, huh? So, yeah, he was, like, here. He was around $100 or some shit. He was kind of done. And also, when he starts losing, it becomes a problem because he's got a pretty good win rate, I think. I'll have to look. Let's actually... We'll look at his win rate. But, yeah, so we do this meditation, and then he's, like, up 250. I'm like, all right, you're done. You know, I want to push him just a little bit beyond what he's used to. I want to... It's not like we're going to the gym and it's like, all right, you're going to have to, you know, you take the shake weight, and now it's like, all right, I need you to lift the car. I'm not doing that to them. It's like, all right, we need to go to the next. Put up 5 more pounds on that. That's it. I need to push him a little bit further. And that's what these guys need. I mean, you have to do it for yourself, and that's kind of where I think they get edge. And so what's interesting, Yuki and I had a conversation, again, the assistant coach. Because, what was it, yesterday? It was a bit of a clusterfuck. Yuki was like kind of like getting Miller to narrate the whole fucking time he was trading, and Chronic can do it, but I know what it's like to narrate your trading session when somebody's like talking. It's hard. It's very difficult. So Miller is losing his focus, and it's too much for him. So Yuki and I were talking, and just in general to get shit organized. I'm like, I don't think we should do that anymore. What we're trying to do is kind of like they're on a leash. Like we want to control them, but there needs to be enough to where they have freedom to do what they need to do. And I'm trying to figure out where their balance is. Like, it's like, okay, we'll have them do all these things, and it was too much for them. I'm like, all right, that's not good. We need to loosen it way the fuck out a little bit. There's certain things he needs to do. So they did their book of charts. Chronic did his review this early in the morning. Yuki identified that Chronic has an extra hour in the morning that he should be leveraging for his reviews, because Chronic stopped doing his reviews. He was starting to get bad at it. And then I had Yuki go over book of charts. You guys did book of charts, right? I think they were doing book of charts. I told Yuki they need to narrate their book of charts every morning before they trade, like the prior day, because I want them to look at the prior day in the book of charts, which I don't know if he has his up here. So if you just come in here and go to this book, there it is. This is the 30th. So this morning they should have went and did the 29th. It'll show all the trades, and see how they're labeling their shit. Let's actually do one column. Descending to ascending. Let me see. I think it should be like this. So they're kind of going through this, and he's narrating and talking. We went through his recordings. Okay, so you went through the recordings. That's good too. Because he'll have there. If I go to videos, it should show his recordings. Something seems off. We did a big update. There's a free version of Tradecraft now, and it kind of fucked everything up. Oh, there is no video. Oh, you didn't put the video in. It's just on YouTube. Gotcha. All right. So they're going through this shit because I want them to get prepped up before the morning. Just like watch look at the yesterday, because yesterday's price action might be like today's price action. Where did you fuck up yesterday? And Yuki brought it to my attention. He's like, hey, man, I think instead of looking at just bad shit, we should be looking at their good shit. So Yuki made a point that we need to start focusing on when they're clear, their clarity trades, when they're taking just good setups. Because he was mentioning how he watched an SMB video where they were doing that. And he's like, I think it would be better if they focus on clarity. You guys did that, right? So they're, we'll see. It was sort of, yeah, you guys did that. I'll have them on one day where they can speak. I'll have to set that up. But, yeah, so they were doing it. Yuki's typing. So Yuki brought this up, and I'm like, this is a good idea. And this is somebody who's never done this before. I'm like, that's a good fucking idea. To get them to internalize their sort of shit. So yesterday was a bit of a clusterfuck. Today, the moment they experience sort of their first loss, I bench them. I say, all right, you're done. Let's do a meditation, or I send them to Yuki. It just really depends. So Yuki's in a private voice chat with them, and I'm kind of rotating them in at times when they're fucking up or whatever. And then they come back to me, and I'm narrating the session. So what it's looking like is my job is to sit with them, talk through, because they both trade my system, which this is also really interesting. People don't like to share their edge. Here's the deal. Nobody gives a fuck. And when they are trading what you're doing, they're taking trades in totally different fucking places. There's an occasional, very occasionally, we'll be in roughly the same area, but we could be off a few ticks. But very rarely are we hitting the exact tick. They're using the system, but they're finding their own little areas, which is pretty interesting. So those of you who are like, I can't share my edge, I'm sitting with these fucking guys during the session, and they are taking trades in the different fucking areas. Using the reads, the narratives, and all that shit. So I think that's a real big fucking myth. I think there's a lot of myths. Somebody's going to take my edge. First and foremost, they don't really start getting it until they're sitting with you and you're like full hands on deck day in, day out. I'll show you how to do a kickflip, explain to you, but does that mean you can land it? Exactly. We went through his recording. He don't upload his videos. We just went on YouTube. Okay. So, Yuki, did they update their tags? We need to get their tags updated. So, Yuki wants to start adding new tags to their journal. Let me see if you guys got it. Not yet. So, we're going to have to adjust his tags. At some point, he's gonna start. We're gonna start. Yuki wants to start tracking specific statistics on these guys, so it's getting interesting. And then Chronic later in the session told me, "Hey man, I really enjoyed having two coaches today because today he was getting Miller and I started trading. Chronic was finishing his review session from the prior day. He's doing them in the morning." And then he bounced to me and shit, and then he really enjoyed that. He felt more supported. He feels like it's more of a team. I think it inspires some level of confidence, at least with Chronic. I don't know about Miller yet, but they really are feeling supported, and maybe they feel like they can't let the team down, that they need to push through with this shit. So that's sort of the prop journey. That's how it's evolved. At this point, I really can't tell you what I expect because, like, I didn't expect to do an assistant coach. It just seems like when somebody offers some form of talent that just makes sense, fuck it, bring them in. If you're a discretionary trader, it's possible to have your edge stolen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. They're taking trades in different spots. It's almost like the edge is sort of being widened, if that makes sense. Like Miller is a lot better at me at slip entries. He focuses on it so much, and I'm fucking getting sloppy as fuck at it. And I'm starting to realize just how much of a problem it is. But he's, like, really good at it. And Chronic is interesting because Chronic has seen the patterns, but he's seeing patterns I'm not seeing. And I'm starting to realize, because in my journal, let me show you guys real quick. Let me go to my journal. We'll start wrapping this shit up. Because I have a new tag at this point. Let it look. I'm starting to notice in my reviews that I am not seeing certain patterns that I normally look for. So it's coming to a point, and S&B Capital talks about this, having indicators or something to assist you in seeing this shit. And it's starting to get to that point where I'm really perking up. I didn't finish reviewing today, but this tag here, didn't see pattern. Let's see how bad that's fucking with me. So if I go to tag, add filter, it is a management, didn't see pattern. And then we'll get rid of the date. It's a newer tag, but this is what it's doing to me. It's lost over 19K overall. This tag is fucking killing me, and this is me not seeing it. So I can go into the book of charts right here, and I can look at these didn't see patterns like this. Didn't see pattern triple stack. This is actually recent. So I didn't see this triple stack, and I started fading. I think this was today. Not seeing the pattern. See how I write it? This could be a bup. So we got 2 down, 2 down, 1 up, 1 up. My entry is here. What I'm not realizing, because this is a long, and I need to probably start labeling these things. Because this is a loss. I should start labeling it a little better. But I get in here, and I think I take a loss over here. Overhold it as well, but I'm not seeing that this specific square should be flipping down. I'm not realizing that at the moment. And what's interesting about Chronic is he's starting to see this shit. So I gave him a job. I'm like, dude, I need you to start looking for like liquidity zones and focus on liquidity zones. And then he's starting to look for shit, so my workload of looking for shit becomes less. So with Chronic, it is evolving into an almost team trading aspect, because now he's taking workload off my analyzing shit. And I'm going to tell you this. There are times where he calls out shit, and I'm like, you're fucking right. And I didn't see it. And it's a really good setup. And then I get into trades that he calls out. So it's the dynamics of how all of this is evolving is fucking interesting. It is nothing like I thought it would be, but it never is. Whenever you get into a highly skilled whatever the fuck, it's never what you thought. And it's fucking fascinating. And I don't know of anybody else, not to toot my own fucking horn here, but I don't know anybody else, any other firm that's like kind of play-by-playing this shit and sharing. We're not, I mean, if you really think about it, whatever you guys want to think, but we're really nobodies, right? They're still trying to pass a fucking combine, right? We're in the earlier phases, which, you know, there are people that are like, well, I need to see it before I believe it. That's their MO. That's fine. But what will be interesting is I do believe we can pull this shit off, without a doubt in my mind, especially with these two guys. I think what will be interesting is once they get their first payout, their first 10 grand, God knows when it will be, maybe a year from now or some shit. I'm not going to give up on it unless they get retarded and keep blowing shit out. Then it's like, okay, well, we got to move on to the next guy, but I'm trying to prevent that from happening, right? I'm trying to keep interjecting. The difference with us is it's not survival of the fittest. It's like we're going to support you as much as we can. It's not like end-of-day coaching. Hey, you get to talk to the coach in the morning, and at the end of the day, what happened? Well, I fucked up. Okay. We're fucking stepping in and I'm trying to nip it in the fucking ass. It would be interesting to see you three trading. It actually did happen at one point today. They had a weird overlap, but there was a point where all three of us were kind of in there. I think it's good chatter on the comms. It would probably be the part 2. I still got to finish the narration, or the DRC. It's being split up. But I think this is getting very fucking interesting, to say the least. And I think that, you know, we're nobody. We're trying to do something. I've never done this before. Yuki's never done it, right? He's still trying to get consistent. But I want to put a lot of myths to rest. And I think, you know, a year down the line from now, if we truly have consistent traders, I think these earlier episodes and streams will be extremely fascinating, especially for those who followed it from the start. To be like, holy shit, you know, they pulled it off. You got to believe in yourself too. That's another thing, is like negative self-talk. If you guys struggle with that, that's gonna just absolutely kill you. But I think we'll end it here, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry the stream crashed. I'll see you next Wednesday, and we'll talk more about what has been unfolding. And I really want to talk about this because it's getting great. See you guys.